Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Jim Brogan, the owner of Jim Brogan Consulting. Jim is a national treasure that we have here in San Diego. If you haven't met him, you've seen him on the news. He does multiple spots throughout the year based on his background as a professional basketball player and his knowledge of the game and the college level in particular. Jim, currently you have a consulting business that is fascinating to me. You consult with major league professional athletes, Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, and you do Fortune 500 executive consulting. Can you give us a little bit about your journey from a high school kid at Lower Merion High School all the way into professional basketball?
Well, Darren, first of all, thanks for having me on today. I greatly appreciate it and the opportunity to speak to your audience. And it was an incredible journey from Lower Merion High School, which most people know that's where Kobe Bryant came out of. I was actually the first guy to go to the pros. He was the second. And I used to tease him about that all the time. So it was great. But, you know, going into school, I just did things that were pretty simple. They weren't easy. They were simple. Before school, every day, take 150 jumpers. And I actually did it wrong. But I just put in that much time every day. And people ask me, why did you do it? Well, I wanted to be someone that could be relied upon for my teammates, for the coaches. So it was just something that, hey, you show up to the gym, 35 minutes before school starts and take your 150 jumpers and you go to school. So it was just a simple process for me. And I realized over the years doing it that it put me in a very interesting situation that I could take a ball and put it into a basket better than other people. And that led to where, you go to college, and I wanted to go to one of the big five schools in Philadelphia. And I just wanted to play right away. And visiting those schools, I realized that I'm not going to play right away. I mean, I'm 6 foot, 155 pounds. This isn't going to work. So I ended up going to a small school in West Virginia Wesleyan, and I went there because they had a great accounting department. Their placement rate coming out of there was about the 94, 95 percentile. So
Wow.
back then, you were going into one of what they call the big eight firms to help you get your CPA designation. I mean, that was my pathway. And again, staying with the same simple process of 150 jumpers before school, every day, before class, lo and behold, I kept getting better and better. Grew 6 inches while I was in college, ended up being a 6'6" point guard and a shooting guard at the same time. So that just opened a lot of doors. And back in the early 80s, Magic Johnson really determined the point guard position. He was 6'8", 6'9". So teams were looking for a big guard that could handle the ball and also play defense. So that was the pathway for me that opened the door. I mean, it was fantastic because I grew those 6 inches in college, and it just all of a sudden had people looking at me being able to do it. And there were tough times along the way. I mean, I wasn't that big. My goal to coming out of high school was actually go to the United States Air Force Academy. That's where I wanted to go to school. That was my determination. That was the goal. I did everything to get there. And unfortunately, my grades were just a little bit below it. And I didn't get in. It was devastating. And I tell young people, look, there's going to be times you're going to get knocked down. You're going to find out if you really want something bad enough by getting back up every day. I mean, make the process simple. It's not going to be easy. Make it simple, and something will happen. And that was my pathway to the pros. And I had a great time. I had a marvelous time being in the NBA versus a CPA, that it worked out the way it did.
In your business as a performance consultant, you work with these high level people that are already at the top of their game. How do you help them become the best version of themselves and get them incrementally above where they are when they come to you?
Right. And we hear that a great deal, that particular term, the best version of themselves. And yes, we want that. We just want to know, what are the procedures? What are you putting in place, either daily or weekly, that we can measure to become that best version of yourself? And then we ask, can you write down what would be the best version of yourself by the end of this month, by the end of 6 months, by the end of 1 year? We normally don't go past 1 year because people And I work with some neurologists, extremely bright people that work on the brain. We've noticed that people have the most difficult time understanding time, the relevance of time and how it impacts our life. People have a very challenging time. I mean, I can't believe my age right now. I felt like I was chasing Larry Bird the other day. I mean, Magic Johnson, and it goes so fast. So
Yeah,
people that are looking to become the best version of themselves, great. What does that look like? And we need to write it down on paper. We are very, very big, and I say we because the couple people I work with, we are very dynamic in making sure things are written down. We don't allow people to type over the computer because the studies show what happens when you write things down, the propensity to remember it and the probability of doing something with it. So we have success journals that we keep with all our executives, even the young students that I work with in college or they're athletes. We want them writing down so they can look back and know why they've accomplished something or why they didn't accomplish something. We have to know what not to do as well as what to do.
right.
So we are huge, huge proponents of, okay, what's our daily schedule? And it could be 5 minutes of doing something. I mean, we are. uh, I mean, I'm resolute on you've got to read starting with 1 or 2 pages a day, or 5 pages a day, or 10 pages a day of a book. People don't read anymore, and it's not good because that's where the knowledge is gained. That's where the solutions are found. That's where the ideas are implemented. That's where the risks are taken from previous stories of people been there, done that. So we harp on every person that I work with. You're reading at least a page, 2 pages, 5 pages a day. And it starts that way where we build it up to where at least it gets to 10 pages after 5 or 6 months
Right.
because the reading makes the difference.